Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the 2024 Prime film, Prime MGM Plus original film, The Idea of You. So this is based on a 2017 book, I think of the same name. A lot of people think this is fan fiction of Harry Styles because he dated Olivia Wilde for a long time. But if my math is correct, the book came out in 2017 and they didn't date until like 2019. So like it's not fan fiction, to each their own. So Nicholas Galitzine plays Hayes Campbell. He's a pop star, 24-year-old pop star. He's in a boy band called August Moon. And Anne Hathaway plays his character of Solène, who doesn't have a last name, which I love. And she has a 16-year-old daughter. She is 40 years old in this film. So, character-wise. And so, daughter Izzy's father, who cheated on mom, and there was a separation, it was a thing, right? Has a work emergency, can't take Izzy and friends to the VIP Austin Moon meet and greet at Coachella. So Solène has to go, and she has to go to the bathroom. And in the VIP tent, she's told to go through this door to get to the bathrooms. And she sees somebody leaving, a trailer, purelling their hands, sanitizing their hands, thinking it's a bathroom. She goes into the trailer, knocks on the door. Someone says that they're in there. And then Nick's character of Hayes pops out, and then she runs to the bathroom, realizing that he realizes that she doesn't know who he is. And then they have a conversation, and then they start flirting, and then there's the meet and greet. And then he goes to the art gallery in LA that she runs, buys all the artwork, and then they start to hang out, and then they start to divulge into each other's lives, and then they start a romance. But how can this happen? Because then, there's the tabloids and there's the internet, and Izzy is in high school and she's getting made fun of and things, right? So it's I love you, but we can't, and I love you, but we can't. And then there's a flash forward of 5 years later, which I did look up, and this movie has a different ending than the book, and I didn't read the book, didn't know the book existed. So to have this particular ending with the story that we were presented, and again, I have nothing to compare it to, it was so beautiful. This was such a captivating film, and it was so filled with passion. My God, it was one of those moments of letting your chest breathe, like letting yourself catch some breath. It was it, bro. When I tell you this was a bisexual's fantasy, I'm not joking, because at one specific moment there was a makeout scene, and there was the bisexual lighting in the scene, and I was freaking the freak out. I was laughing my ass off, as well as fanning my chest. It was one of those. How do I explain bisexual lighting? Because a lot of people understand it, but then a lot of people don't. The bisexual color flag, the flag's colors are three lines. It's a pink, purple, and a blue. I don't remember what order it goes, but when a film or a TV series or something does the bisexual lighting, you know that it's like amplified. I don't know how else to explain it, but when the lighting goes pink, purple, blue, and then like it shifts or whatever, it's just passion. And it did it at one of the moments. They're making out in her dining room or something like that. And I was like, bro, it's the lighting. I loved it. It was just so interesting watching this as well, because it's an open dialogue film. If a 40-year-old man was dating a 24-year-old woman, nobody would say boo. They would say, oh, good for you. But then if a 40-year-old woman is dating a 24-year-old man with the 16-year age gap, she's a cougar, and how dare she rob the cradle and all this crap, despite the individual is 24 years old. So it's an open conversation that Izzy and Solène actually have at one point, prior to then, the aftermath. And what's interesting about this too is that you watch it, you expect the breakup, right? You expect the breakup, you expect the happy ending of them getting back together. It's just how all rom-coms work, right? But there was two breakups in this. There was a lovey-dovey breakup, and then the flash forward of 5 years, and I was like, I did not expect it. So it was very interesting watching this because it was captivating. I couldn't keep my eyes off of it. The two leads are absolutely gorgeous, extremely talented, very poised individuals in everything they do. And I love that Nicholas Galitzine has just been singing in every film that he's in. Or playing an instrument. Wonderful. And like I said, we're doing a mini Nick marathon and then jumping into the next stuff. We got a list. But watching Anne Hathaway too as well, she's been, the first introduction we had to her as millennials was in Princess Diaries, which was what? 02, 03, one of those years, 01. We should revisit that, the first one. But that's how we were first introduced to her. And then we had eventually Princess Diaries 2, then there was Ella Enchanted, and then there was, 2004's Devil Wears Prada. And then once Devil Wears Prada popped up, Anne was always, shown then in very well-to-do clothing. And she had this kind of poise about her after that. Very erect kind of like posture and very like floating on air as she glides kind of a thing. Like when she walks to a room, like her presence is known. Like it's just a graceful kind of thing. It's all the princess training she had back in the day, obviously. No, but she's just such a wonderful individual as well. In general, watching the interviews and her recapping on things and stuff like that, talking about family and friends and life. So it's just really cool seeing her as a poised individual, playing this individual who's now trying to figure out what to do. Should she go on this trip? Should she stay with this guy? Is it beneficial in a family aspect? What's going to happen if she stays with the guy in regards to her daughter being made fun of? Things, right? Have to put the daughter first. So it was a very wonderful open conversation film, visually stunning, captivating film. I also am very impressed with the art direction they did, because a lot of this was about artwork and art pieces. So they had a lot of artists make actual art. It wasn't just some, prop person putting together something to then have it displayed, which a prop person is an artist in general, but they looked for local talent basically to then make this artwork. And the tree painting with like the neon highlights in it is absolutely gorgeous and stunning, and I need a copy of myself somewhere. That was made by an actual artist named Sarah, and the character in the film is named Sarah. So I like that. I like that little play on it as well. So wonderful all around. And what's interesting too is that what's interesting is I don't really like a lot of modern art, because art is subjective, and you stare at a canvas in the MoMA with a blue square on it and it's just sold for $48 million, and you're like, but why? I can make something better than that. Art is subjective. So when I'm watching something and it's about art, I'm very particular, because I don't like a lot of modern art. Art is subjective. But this tree with the neon highlights in it, the foresty thing, bro, it's just so captivating. And it's really cool. It's just very cool. And Solen does a whole, I feel everything when I look at it bit. And it was just wonderful then having Hayes buy it for her. Very cool. Very cool, very well-rounded story we're given. Predictable, but unpredictable, because I didn't expect 2 breakups. I didn't expect the 5-year flash forward, which was awesome. The I'm crying at the end. Anne's crying at the end. It was a wonderful viewing experience. I will keep it at that. Wonderful viewing experience, visually stunning, wonderful talent, gorgeous film. The Idea of You. On to the next review. Mahalo.